What is up, Sportscast? Welcome to the Sports and Stuff Show, the Kings of Sports. I'm Carter,
I'm Adam.
I'm Gabe.
and let's get right into it.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Gabe will lead us off with the agenda today, and we'll be on the road.
All right. So our agenda today, we're going to talk about our weekly updates. We're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to talk about college football. We're going to talk about the NFL. A lot of sports here. And then we're also going to talk about a little story of me and Carter going down to Portland for the Portland Trailblazers and Atlanta Hawks game.
Woo! Didn't they win that game? And then Trey put up like 50 points or something like that and still lost.
56.
56. Man, that's bad. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. Talk about carrying a team, but the team still weighs you down.
That whole game, no one played any defense at all. So
Yeah. What was the final score? Was it like?
it was 136, 131, I think.
Man, pretty close.
Kind of called it, though, saying the Blazers were going to allow 130 at least.
You did say that before it started.
Man, is this something you wanted to be right about, though? Like,
Well, he's not a Blazer fan, so he doesn't care.
oh, okay.
He's just a Norman Powell enthusiast.
Oh, my God. I was going crazy. Powell had 24, I think. I went crazy for him.
Man, that's
Former
great.
Toronto Raptor.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, on to the weekly updates. This is the last week on Zoom. We'll be back on the Pulse starting next week. We are also trying to get this show on live on YouTube and on the radio at the same time. It might be a little bit of a road bump there, but that's what we're trying to do. That's the goal. And yeah, that should be interesting. So make sure to tune in on the Pulse next week and also tune in on YouTube this week and next week as well. So we'll be kind of implementing that. And we also might have a little bit different of a scheme to the episodes a little bit, but you'll have to see. So just check in next week and then see how those turn out. As well, we also have some TikTok news. We are very close to 5K. We're probably going to make it to 5K by that time that this episode gets out. So in that case, we're doing a giveaway for 5K. Like we said on the sports and stuff goals. I don't think I posted them. I have them on my TikTok, but I'll have to make it like an Instagram post on this about the sports and stuff goals. I don't know if you could tell. It's right there. Yeah. Giveaway at 5K. So we'll make a post about it on our Instagram and TikTok on how to enter. But essentially we'll tell you right now, what you have to do is follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. And then tag 3 of your friends in the comments of our Instagram or TikTok post to be entered. And then you'll be entered. And we'll be announcing the winner on February 1st. So you don't want to miss out on that. We'll be giving away a $100 gift card for Sports and Stuff, the Sports and Stuff store. So you could spend that. And we'll be giving that away to one lucky winner. So make sure to enter into that raffle or into the giveaway and make sure to win that $100 in Sports and Stuff merch. And it's also coming in time because we got new merch. Coffee mugs, flags, bags, new design, basically anything you want in Sports and Stuff. We have it in the new store. That should be very interesting. We have some interesting stuff. I want to get a Boise stat flag just to put right here. Just put put a Sports and Stuff flag. Just right in the background right there.
Man, the new that design that you made the Boise stat thing off of, the original one kind of grew on me.
The original one, seriously?
It kind of grew on me. I even got a shirt. I caved.
Seriously?
I caved.
You got that instead of a Boise stat merch.
Man,
you could have just asked me and I could have, dude.
I was gonna
Photoshop, like, you know how they changed their basketball jerseys to have that like logo on it?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna,
and those looks cool.
I was gonna Photoshop like the Boise stat logo on that jersey and be like, man, that's so cool that they're repping it. And put that. I might still do that. So that's a sneak peek for the Instagram. But yeah, we basically have everything. We also have Champion merch, which should be really cool. My favorite brand is Champion. So that would be very interesting. So make sure to check out the store and also make sure to enter that giveaway. We could also check out the website. I failed to mention that it's at sportsstuff.show. So just check out our website at www.sportsstuff.show to check out the merch. And we're also, if you were interested in joining Sports and Stuff, the Sports and Stuff team, we are always open. So just make sure to email us at contact@sportsandstuff.show. That's contact@sportsstuff.show. So, I think that's all of our weekly updates, unless you guys have anything.
Nope.
Yep. All right. On to the NBA.
All right. We're going to talk about just a couple things in the NBA. First off, DeMar DeRozan, who happens to be Gabe's favorite player. He has hit multiple game winners recently and is playing some of the best basketball of his career. And he's leading the Bulls to the best record in the East, which most people figured the Bulls would take a step forward with signing DeRozan, signing Caruso, signing Ball, but they have exceeded all expectations and look legit right now. LeBron James is 37 years old, still averaging 29, 8, and 6, and getting his head to the rim on a regular basis. He's playing all over the court for that team, but the Lakers are still struggling. They are the 7th seed in the West right now, just above 500. Ja Morant is taking a step into superstardom for sure. He's averaging 25, 6, and 7. Coming back off of that injury, he picked up right where he left off. He's still only 22 years old, and he's killing the league right now. And in injury news, Kyrie Irving is back. He's awaiting his season debut that should come soon. And also, Klay Thompson is set to debut soon. So we're going to see the Splash Brothers back in action probably this week or next.
Man, with the Bulls, that's so interesting that they people were probably expecting them to be decent, but first in the East. The East is not as nearly competitive as the West, but man, that's very impressive that they even Lonzo's playing great, DeMar's playing great, Caruso's playing great, Levine's playing great. It's insane. It's kind of weird that this came under our noses, everyone's noses, where they thought that they were going to slip past, but man, it's kind of, the Bulls are kind of looking pretty great. And then what was that?
I was going to say, if we could talk about DeRozan for a second. So he's still shooting relatively around the same clip he has his entire career. He's about 50% shooter, but he's improved a lot from 3-point land. He's shooting 36% this year as well. He's also increasing his volume. Obviously, that's why he's scoring more, but it's really weird to see a 32-year-old having his best season this late into his career. Also, my favorite player ever. So you got to give him love for that.
Whoa, what? Yeah, and you're a Raptors fan, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's shocking.
I'm sad. I'm really sad we couldn't get him a chip, but we got one with Kawhi.
Oh yeah. But it's gonna be funny because now that the Bulls are good, there's gonna be all these bandwagoners, all the people that just had a Bulls jersey just because of Jordan, just fall in and be like, I've always been there. Just watch it happen.
Chicago's a cool team to like too. The logo's cool, the history's cool, and so some people would have stuff laying around, and now that they're actually good, it's time for them to come back out.
Yeah, there's some people that I know that literally have a Jordan jersey that don't even like the Bulls. They don't even know that about the Bulls at all. They just have it or have Bulls stuff, and it's why? But now they're gonna be oh yeah, I've been there since day one. But man, it's gonna be funny.
Yeah, that's how it is in every sport. Every team that's good gets some bandwagon fans.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the Patriots once Tom Brady retires. It's well into the future. Everyone's gonna have a Tom Brady jersey and be oh yeah, I've always been a Patriots fan since day one, or
when
something
he
like that.
retires in 10 more years.
Yeah, he's probably gonna retire in 10 more years. So we're looking at a span of in the future 50 years. Right. That's gonna happen. Man. But now, is that all that we had for NBA? Is there anything else there?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on some of the big stuff that was happening.
Man, Klay Thompson coming back is going to be interesting. Because
I don't really know what to set my expectations at for him because he's been out 2 full years.
Yeah, he's obviously still been practicing through those years, but they also don't really it's not like he's going to be make or break for the Warriors, because they've already been show that they're really great this year. We're without him, so it's
Best
like,
record in the league, actually.
yeah, like they're probably the best team without him already. So it's like adding him on it is going to be like insane. Like, I don't think it's going to be that much of an impact on them, but like, especially because he might come out a little bit rusty. But even Curry, when he came back, he was kind of rusty a bit, and it was kind of hard because of like all the players around him were kind of, it was just dysfunctional. But like now it just seems like everything's going together, and he might not need to be as great because of all the pieces around him. But yes, on to college football.
Yeah, so basically all the bowl games have been played except for national championship. So
Yeah.
the Peach Bowl, Michigan State was able to beat Pittsburgh. That was kind of a crazy ending. They won 31-21. Pittsburgh kept it close for most of the game. It's just they really sold in the final few minutes.
Man, that pick six at the end was bad. Did you guys see that game?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it was
some of it, yeah.
It was like Pitt was like marching down the field, and then he throws this horrible interception that was like, I don't even know he was throwing, like who they were throwing to, but like it was like a bad, and then it was like a pick six, and it was like, okay.
Pickett sat out, didn't he?
Yeah, so did Kenneth Walker.
So it was kind of like the backups against backups.
Well,
like a practice squad.
A couple bowls later here, we're gonna see exactly why they did that.
Yep. Man.
Next in the Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma State represented the Big 12 pretty well. They defeated Notre Dame 37-35. I was unable to watch this game.
I watched the whole thing. It was awesome. Notre Dame jumped out to a huge lead. It was like 28-7. And then OK State scored 30 in a row. And then Notre Dame's last touchdown was like prevent defense time. Like they're going to need an onside, whatever, if they score. So OK State just dominated. Spencer Sanders shook off a rough start and really played amazing. Yeah, it was, and the Cowboy defense really stepped up. They stopped them time and time again in that second half. It was really impressive. It was a really fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm. I'm as a fan of Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. It was a good week until Caleb Williams, but we'll get into that. But I really love to see them win, especially against Notre Dame. I thought it was going to be way less close, but I mean the score says it's closer. But I think by the end it wasn't really that close. Like you could kind of tell that Oklahoma State was going to win that one. But it was an interesting game, and that's what anyone asks for in bowl games.
Then we talk about the Sugar Bowl, which was a complete dud. I thought this was going to be the best bowl game of the season. Baylor defeated Ole Miss 21-7. Matt Corral got carted off. It is just an ankle sprain, but still raises the question: should he have sat out?
Yep.
I think he should have done whatever he wants. I mean, I'm not gonna say he should have sat out, but I'm not gonna say Kenny Pickett should have played. Like, I think they should be able to do whatever they want without criticism. He put millions on the line there, and at first I thought that was a knee injury. I thought he had blown a knee out, but thankfully he didn't. But I mean, that right there is the perfect case for people who do sit out and why they do it.
Yeah. And it was pretty like a dud game, but like that was the biggest thing. And that's also kind of leading into the Oklahoma or Ohio State versus Utah game, because CJ Stroud was just putting everyone on blast for sitting out at the end of that game, because he was like, you should be sitting out for just stick with your team or whatever. So I feel like it's getting way more divided, where it's like people are kind of getting mad that you're sitting out or whatever. But
Stroud said that?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
He's talking about how like he was putting on blast people who sat out during like the college or like out of the bowl game or whatever. I think it was just mainly for Ohio State, but like it kind of serves a purpose for like other teams as well. Where it's like,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, so this is the Rose Bowl. This is where legendary games are played. If you aren't motivated to play, I question your love of the game.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Either way, Stroud is a stud.
Yeah. I mean, that game was insane.
That game
Did you
was-
guys watch that one?
Yeah, I watched that whole game too. That was awesome.
That was good. I knew this one was probably going to be the best bowl game, and it delivered. Utah's jerseys was so cool. We talked about that last week.
Yes, with the rose.
Dude, that was so nice. Just putting a rose on, dude, that was great. Like, I don't know. It was something about the white helmets and like the rose in there. Dude,
Yeah.
it looked awesome.
Well, you
I
could tell
really loved
that
it.
you could tell that they cared about it more than Ohio State did,
Yeah,
but Ohio State was just too good. I mean,
man.
Stroud
Well,
and
they were-
Smith and Jigba, bro.
They had a like they had like a 2-touchdown lead at like some points of the game.
They
it was just they let
controlled
up.
like the whole game for a long. They controlled the game
Yeah.
for a long time.
That's what I
But-
thought. I was like, they're probably not going to let up, and they're probably going to let Ohio State they can't catch up, but they ended up doing it at the end and
Yeah,
ended up pulling off the
Man.
win.
Stroud threw some perfect passes. He was on
Man.
point. It was unbelievable.
And I mean, okay, this is also a little bit of a gripe. At the end of the game, Utah's like strategy was so bad. That was the dumbest way to end the game, in my opinion. They decided to bring it out and then like try to lateral it, but it was too late because the clock was already dead and he was already down. Like I would have probably risked like a Hail Mary or something, like let it go in the end zone.
I don't think
Do a
he's
Hail
throwing
Mary.
it 80 yards in the air for a Hail Mary, though.
Or at least
it was the backup quarterback, too.
Yeah, like at least throw it as far as you can and then like lateral it, do the lateral game or whatever.
I think that
But,
I think they
like-
made the right choice just because that returner had been ripping big ones all day. So might
Yeah,
as well
but,
give him a
like,
shot. He even broke
man,
one
that
all
was
the way for a
bad.
touchdown.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me. I feel like it wasn't going to be that big of a chance for him to, especially because they knew that he had a chance to do that. So like, I don't know. But anyways, it was a really great game.
Can we also talk about a little bit about the game that happened? Well, as this is airing yesterday, last night, LSU and Kansas State. LSU was without any quarterback due to COVID issues, so they started wide receiver John Trey Kirkland at quarterback. He had 11 pass attempts, and out of those five out of 11 of those pass attempts were either a touchdown or interception. Found that kind of funny. LSU lost that game by 22 though. Just want to throw that in there.
That
as well.
adds up.
Whoa.
No, we can talk about the playoffs now though. In the Cotton Bowl, Alabama kind of just rolled over Cincy. They won 27-6. Did the Bearcats deserve to be in there? Would any other team that didn't make the playoffs really give Alabama that much more of a challenge?
I think that they did deserve to be there this year just because the other teams didn't step up enough. Like Baylor dropped a game to TCU in the middle of the season to give them 2 losses. Oklahoma State dropped the Big 12 championship to Baylor that totally would have put them in. And Cincy, I mean, they stayed undefeated. It wasn't as impressive as you'd hope from their schedule, but they stayed undefeated the whole way. And there was no team I feel like really got snubbed because of Cincy. Now, do I think that there were better teams out there? Yeah, but I don't know if their resumes deserve to be in over an undefeated team. And I don't know how much more of a fight they would have put up anyway. But it'll be interesting to see what this does for the future of Group of 5 schools because they were really never in it. From the first drive, Alabama just kept running straight. And Cincy loves to run their 3-down lineman set, and they just failed to adjust.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone by the beginning of the game knew Alabama was going to win, but they did kind of the defense kind of stopped Bryce Young a bit, I would say. I mean, they're giving him like a run for his money. He was kind of struggling a bit. He threw some pretty bad incompletions there that they kind of forced. He threw an interception. I think did he throw 2? 1? I think he threw 1. I know at least 1, but I don't know.
I only remember 1.
Yeah, but I mean, they did give him like a kind of a run for the money. It was pretty close until the very end, like score wise. But I mean, I think that they kind of deserve to be there. I mean, they played pretty great. I mean, for playing against Alabama, in my opinion, but definitely not their outcome. And I think it's way more humiliating or less humiliating than the other game that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, and let's give some credit to Alabama's offensive line and Brian Robinson Jr. That was just a phenomenal performance on the ground.
Yep.
Okay, well, we can talk about now. The Georgia Bulldogs, they defeated the Michigan Wolverines 34-11. And what are our thoughts on this game?
And somehow that final score makes it look closer than it was. I
Yep.
mean, this was just pure domination in every sense of the word. I love Jim Harbaugh, so I was really hoping he'd pull this one out. But I knew deep down there was little to no chance. Georgia looks unbelievable. They had that one lapse against Alabama, which everyone's remembering because it was so recent. But the whole entire year, they've just been embarrassing opponents. So I think that they're re-catching their fire right now, and they're going to be more motivated than ever to finally get Bama. Kirby finally needs to get Saban, doesn't he?
In my opinion, I picked Michigan to win this one. Am I embarrassed about this pick now? Definitely. Like when I stopped watching, or like when I stopped looking at the score, it was 34-3. So I thought that was the final score, and then I look back, I'm like, oh, they actually scored a touchdown, but it was bad. I mean, I feel like it's kind of nature for Jim Harbaugh to choke a very high stakes game like this one. You know, he's always choked the high stakes games against Ohio State that everyone wanted him to win. And then he chokes this one, like even choked the Super Bowl. Like
That was not his fault. That was not his fault.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad in that game until
Greg
the lights
Roman.
came on.
Greg Roman must have known he was going to be a Raven in the future because he definitely wanted the Ravens to win that game.
Sure.
Or the Ravens also played better, but
Yeah.
No.
I like
No,
hearing this.
We forgot to have the power outage before the game.
yeah,
If the
no,
power
it's
outage
what
was before the game, we would have beat you by 50.
it's whatever, but I think the Ravens were Super Bowl 47 champions. I don't think the Niners were. So
It's funny to hear
It
the
was
side
holding.
of
He held him
yeah, he also pushed off.
because he
also
was
pushed
getting
off.
held.
That doesn't change the fact that he pushed off.
Okay, so offsetting penalties, redo the down. Let's
Sure,
set
and
it
then
up.
what are you
Let's
gonna
set
do?
it up
Not run
right
with
now.
Frank Gore?
Let's set it up right now. Bring Kaepernick back. Bring Gore back, and let's redo it right now.
Okay, with retired Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, and Ray Lewis.
Exactly.
Joe Flacco.
Okay,
But you can keep Greg Roman this time.
no, hopefully he's gone after the year. But no, it was N'Kobe Dean. He flew around in that Michigan game. He's
awesome.
He's gonna be a stud. It's really, and it's when you have Jordan Davis and you have N'Kobe Dean up there, like in the middle, it's gonna be really tough to run, regardless of who you are.
Yeah.
So that sets the stage for Georgia and Alabama. You think it's gonna be any different? I think as of now, Alabama's 3-point dogs.
Yeah, they are, and Saban is a dog. You know how that goes, but I think it's going to be different in a sense that I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a down to the wire game, whereas Alabama just dominated the last matchup.
You're telling me that Alabama's the underdog?
Yeah,
They are.
What?
no, if you think
Not
about
happen a lot.
it does make sense though. Like
No, it doesn't.
Georgia has been the best team this year. Okay, outside of that was their only lapse. Bama has issues. They do, and it just so happens that a lot of those issues have been inconsistencies in the O line. That's something Georgia can exploit a little bit, considering they blitz on every down and have an amazing front seven.
Yeah, but you're also missing out on the fact that one team has Bryce Young and the other team, their quarterback cannot be trusted. So
Yeah, but he's hot right now.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and so were the Colts. And you just said before we even aired that they sucked.
Stetson Bennett was throwing dimes against Michigan. He threw some beautiful passes.
He also got domed in the head and didn't even know where he was during the Bama game last. Oh.
If Georgia gets that Stetson Bennett, then they're
going to be losing still.
A whole new level of dangerous.
No, dude. Okay. In my opinion, this
Bro,
game,
they gave up 6 points a game this season. How are you just sweeping them under the rug?
Well, how many did they give
because
up
it's against Alabama. What?
How many points did they allow to Alabama? Is the
A
question.
lot, because Bryce Young is a god.
Well, there we go. We're playing Bryce Young again, Mo, is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they get
It's not
another
like they're
crack at
benching
him.
Bryce Young for this game. They're like, you know what? We're playing Georgia. What's bench Bryce?
Here, I'll lock it in right now. I think it's going to be a 1-score game, but give me Alabama.
Honestly, I think Georgia's going to come in this game, be like, that last game was a fluke, and then get absolutely embarrassed. I think it's going to be similar outcome from last game. You know, that's what's different from college, is that you can have two teams play, I feel like, in my opinion, in the NFL, and you can get two completely different outcomes. Not like the Packers game. that was the one fluke. But I feel like with college, it kind of is more true, in my opinion. Like the good team normally does win in college. It might not be the case for football or for the NFL, but I feel like that's definitely how it feels in college football. And I definitely think the better team is Alabama. I mean, Georgia may have a better defense, but the thing is that quarterbacks trump everything most of the time. So and Alabama has a better coach. So I think this is definitely going to be a win for Saban here. Did I just jinx him? Maybe. Did I?
I came into this wanting to pick Alabama because I love Alabama, and I love Nick Saban, and I really, really love Bryce Young. But you guys slandering Georgia and not giving them the respect they deserve. All right, I'll take Georgia.
You're taking Georgia.
And I hate doing this because I love Alabama. I really do, but
because you're going to be wrong.
I'm taking Georgia.
That's why you hate
it. Yeah. I'm the jinx here.
Also, something about that comeback in the national championship a few years ago when these two teams played, it still doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. But
Isn't that just more motivation for Georgia though?
Yeah, well, are any of those guys even playing for Georgia right now?
Are any of them playing for Bama?
No.
so,
I'm just bringing that up as like,
I guess it's completely irrelevant.
I'm just saying like,
they're gonna think about
there's like no analytics behind it or anything, but it's really tough for me to pick Georgia after they choked that, and I know number players.
It's tough for me too because I wanted to pick Alabama, but now that people are just sweeping Georgia under the rug like they didn't just have a dominant season, I gotta pick Georgia.
It's like that's like using motivation from like an 100-year-old game. They beat us 100 years ago. We gotta get them back.
Well, all I know is that
Revenge.
Carter is going to be on the wrong side here.
Yep,
And
definitely.
he'll regret it.
Oh, you know that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Watch. We're gonna be back, and then we're gonna be like, "Told you so." But we'll also replay this clip from here, being like, "I picked Georgia," and just repeat it.
Well, make
100
sure
times.
you play that. I want to pick Alabama. I think they're probably gonna win.
No, I'm gonna cut that out.
Georgia. I'm picking Georgia out of principle because they are an elite team that you guys are just disregarding.
I'm gonna put like a voiceover of Carter. And it's just gonna be me. It's gonna be like, Alabama sucks. Georgia is gonna win this one, and then put it over him. Be like,
You
yeah,
know-
that's definitely his words.
I want to pick Georgia too, but I think Alabama is going to win. There we go.
I don't want to pick Georgia.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Alabama. They're gonna win. End of story. Oh yes. Now on to transfers. It's gonna kill me, but
Yeah, so first up, Caleb Williams entered the transfer portal. He's still going to keep the door open with Oklahoma, and Adam wants to die.
yep. Yeah, you had to add that. I had to add that in there. So in my opinion, I did not see this coming. I don't think anyone did, especially as a freshman. And he claims that he's just entering the transfer portal just to hear from other teams. But everyone bends the rule like that. You can't hear from other teams. Everyone does it. Are you kidding me? Why? Why do you pull these up like so? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna ignore that you put that up there.
Go Dogs.
Dude,
Continue.
for the shoe.
Continue. Hey, for the shoe worked as long as I was on the show. I take 1 week off and they lose.
Yeah, and you let me jinxed it. So there you go. You're welcome. You know what? For that sake, I'm gonna pick Georgia. I'm gonna say Georgia's gonna win this one by 1,000,000
No.
points. They're gonna win by 1,000,000 points.
You're fading
I-
into the logo, Carter.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You picked
Use my
Bama.
jinx for evil.
So who are you picking?
I'm gonna pick Georgia now. There we go. You're welcome. You're welcome, Carter. Oh my goodness.
There we go.
Yeah. See,
think
that's gonna
Carter
be the
needs a
exact same
reminder.
score.
Oh,
this game.
okay, Gabe. All right.
That's gonna be the exact same score of this new game, this new championship. But yeah, Caleb Williams. Everyone bends that rule. Everyone talks to teams, even though they know they can't. Like, that's just how it is. And him entering the transfer portal is just that's bad news for Oklahoma, losing their coach and losing their future quarterback. They even lost that 5-star, which didn't seem that bad because they had Caleb Williams. We even said that we're like, it's not that big of a deal because they have Caleb Williams, but now that he's gone or he's going to be gone, that's bad news. But why? Why?
Gabe, you know who that is?
That is Jarrett Dagey of the West Virginia Mountaineers.
It is indeed.
Sorry, Carter just
Yes.
made this personal.
Wow.
Oh no.
But
Ravens
another
Super Bowl?
I know what's
Question mark?
coming.
you'll see. But I'll talk about the ripple effect this has even more. I mean, it started with Lincoln Riley leaving, obviously, but now that Caleb Williams entered the transfer portal, Dylan Gabriel, who was originally going to go to UCLA, he decided to make the switch to Oklahoma with the possibility of Caleb Williams maybe even coming back. It's probably not going to happen, but that risk is still there. That also means that Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who I love, he's a great dual threat quarterback for UCLA, might come back for another year for the Bruins.
Man. What a dud year for it's. Man, Oklahoma fans got screwed. What? We get Spencer Rattler. They think most people, not me, thought that Spencer Rattler was going to be a number 1 pick and that they're going to be great this year. Did not happen. Spencer Rattler was a dud. Then they get Caleb Williams. They're chanting "Start Caleb" every single game because Spencer's awful. And then they get Dylan Gabriel after they realize Caleb Williams is a stud. And then they lose their coach. Like, dude, this is must be beat up on Oklahoma year. Like, that's embarrassing. But also with Spencer Rattler going to South Carolina, man.
So what's going to happen there? You think he's going to rebuild some of his value? Because he's going to go up against a lot tougher defenses than he did in the Big 12.
He's probably going to be worse.
I don't really understand this move going to a team that's going to struggle in the SEC against those defenses and that competition. I don't really understand it. I figured he'd stay in the Big 12 or maybe even go Pac-12 or Mountain West perhaps, but no, he went to the SEC and I don't know. Maybe his idea is he wants to prove himself against tougher competition, and maybe he's taking a risk here, but I really don't know.
So what team did you want him to go to again? I was unaware.
The Boise State Broncos.
Oh, there you go. I just won Carter bingo, by the way. You're welcome.
Why?
You're welcome,
Because,
everyone out there.
hold on. Colts, Rattler to the Broncos. What else?
Saying the team's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Mentioning the 49ers Super Bowl.
Gabe started
free
it.
space.
Gabe started it.
Boom. Carter
Gabe
bingo.
started it.
You guys probably do one for me. Every time I say take a drink, take a shot.
Shit.
Be drunk, dead drunk by the end. Just blacked
Die
out.
of alcohol poisoning.
Man.
I also
Every
want to
time-
do a little quick reminder, Carter. You know Crabtree didn't catch this ball.
Maybe because he got
Whoa.
held. Maybe because he got held.
Could have had a punt return.
What?
Wouldn't have needed a
That's
punt if you didn't
crazy.
do that stupid. No, that's the wrong one. Where did it go? Get
You already
back
used
here.
that one.
I know.
He puts a for the shoe instead on accident.
Where did it
to get back
go?
at you.
I lost
Oh, that's a
it.
stinger.
I think I lost the battle.
Also in the transfer news, Max Johnson, he's transferring from LSU to Texas A&M. Any thoughts on that?
Not really. He's not that good.
Yeah, I think that's the way to put it.
I mean, can I just be honest? He did not play well this year.
Yep. That's why he's transferring.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why he's transferring. I really don't. Like, I
Maybe
don't know.
since Brian Kelly's coming in, maybe
Okay, that's
he's
fair.
worried that
I
he's going to
would
lose his job.
I would
mean-
want to get away from Brian Kelly at all costs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Bo Nix. Bo Nix from Auburn to Oregon. That was actually his first start, which is kind of interesting. He
See,
beat
this
Justin
one-
Herbert.
This one makes sense because he's going to a weaker place. He can flash his talent more, and this makes sense for him. And I am assuming he's gonna start, but we'll see.
I mean, Oregon has a recent history of booming and boomer bust for some of these transfer quarterbacks. Some of them have been pretty decent, and some of them have been awful. So I don't know if he's going to fall into that awful or pretty good category, but it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, he himself has been pretty boomer bust from week to week his whole career.
Yeah, it's just fitting, It's just full circle. Like, but that was pretty interesting that like his very first game was against Oregon, and he played pretty decent in that game, and then now he's going to Oregon. But I don't know. We'll see. And now on to NFL news. What is that? And what was the last one? Go back. Wait, whoa. Go. Was that like a shoe? Like a shoe brand or something? Hold up. What Carter, you saw that too. What? Yeah.
I didn't really see what it
the
was.
shoe store brands for men, women, and kids. What? Why? Is this an inside joke with you two or something like that?
Not that I know of.
What is this? Why do you have that? What? No comment, I guess. You're not okay. You're muted, by the way.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's interesting.
Let's talk about
lost.
the NFL.
Okay, anyways, NFL news. This week was very crazy. Start of the year, they had a very crazy week of football. Starting off with none other than himself, Mr. Boomin' Call God, Antonio Brown. Man. Do you guys want to talk about what happened?
I think we kind of have to.
Yeah. Or did you want to describe it? Or did you want to leave it to me?
All right, I'll talk about it. So Antonio Brown decided in the middle of the third quarter of the game against the Jets that he was done. And he took off his shoulder pads, he took off his jersey, he took off his undershirt, he took off his gloves, fired the shirt and the gloves into the crowd. Which, quick little side note, OJ Simpson is on Twitter and he posted about this, talking about how despicable it was or whatever. And one of the top comments was definitely the worst glove related incident in NFL history. And that made me laugh really hard. But anyway, so yeah, he fires that stuff into the crowd, walks off, proceeds to dance in the end zone in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that ankle injury was really bothering him.
Right.
Yeah.
Security said they were going to tackle him because they thought it was a fan at first, but then it was just AB being AB. And he ran into the tunnel with the peace sign up and then was seen at Barclays Center at a Nets game the next day. So he's still in New York.
Well, they first saw him try to get an Uber. That was so funny.
Yeah. And honestly, the craziest part about maybe not the craziest part, but a crazy part about all this is that he's still not cut. He's still on the roster.
Yeah, dude,
so I don't know if there's I don't know if there's something they need to wait for, or I don't really know what they're doing right now, but are they going to keep him?
They're going to suspend him for sure. There's there's no way he gets out of this. In the middle of the game, he's just walking or jumping around in the end zone. He's gonna
No.
get in trouble for
The
that.
case he made, or I don't know if he himself made it, but people are saying that he told Arians he was too injured to go back in the game. And
What?
I don't know how that would be true, but other people are also saying it's because he was close to incentives and they wouldn't let him back in the game.
That's
So
what I heard.
those are kind of opposite stories. And in reality, probably neither of them are true. But
Yeah, like, I mean, that was a story that is in favor of Antonio Brown, which is very hard for people to support Antonio Brown's side of the story when it's like he did all that crazy stuff and he has a crazy past. So man, this is embarrassing. Like, yeah, and he was 8 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown away from $1 million. And then he just throws it all away. Like, what?
to be fair, he did also throw it away himself earlier in the season with the whole fake vaccine card thing.
Yep. I mean, dude, this is why the NFL normally doesn't give people second chances in the league. This is why they're for sure never giving Colin Kaepernick a second chance.
I mean, this isn't even a second chance. This is fourth chance,
50th or something. Like, man, it's so weird because it's like the only player that I've seen get it like another chance in the NFL after screwing it up is Antonio Brown. Like Colin Kaepernick.
Josh Gordon got a bunch of chances.
Yeah, I mean, he got maybe it's just wide receivers. Wide receivers just get multiple chances. Everyone else doesn't.
Vic,
Like Colin Kaepernick didn't. I'm surprised Cam Newton did. He probably shouldn't have.
well, I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. He just was not good.
Yeah, it was kind of just not good. Yeah, like it was interesting. Johnny Manziel didn't. I'm surprised he didn't, honestly.
Bad kickers get
maybe it's
more
just quarterbacks.
chances. And bad coaches. Bad coaches get more chances all the time.
Yeah. It's just apparently just quarterbacks
Oh, and
don't, apparently.
Gabe, we were just talking about this. There's a bunch of like terrible backup quarterbacks who seem to just float around the league making money, who are just
Yeah.
always in the league.
Well, yeah,
just
these
there.
rookie quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks just don't get chances. Like you saw Sean Mannion get one in the Sunday night game, and Kellen Mond got one series.
He got like 2 plays and he got dissed by the coach.
Yeah.
He was like, I've already seen enough of them.
Zimmer's gone anyway. Who cares?
I mean, it's kind of rough for me to see Mike Zimmer leave. Like, I mean, he's been pretty decent, and it's like, what are the odds that they're going to hire a better coach than him?
I'd say
Like,
not bad.
I mean, the team has underperformed so much this year.
yeah,
The
and even with
Vikings
Kirk
have.
Cousins, I think the whole Kirk Cousins thing was bad.
Well, and you've seen Minnesota's potential this year too. Like they looked like a playoff team multiple times in the year, but like losses to the Lions and stuff like that just it makes it really tough.
Yeah.
Like it makes a really tough case to keep Mike Zimmer around.
I think if he would have won that game, he probably would have 100% stayed. But
I don't know. A lot of fans were already out on him before that. That was just like of course it happened, like nail in the coffin type thing.
Also, in other news, a Chiefs player's jacket caught on fire against the Bengals.
I didn't even see that. I was watching that game. I didn't even see that happen.
I didn't know it happened either. I just heard about it. And like apparently a player was standing way too close to a heater and then it caught on fire.
He was just so cold that he didn't even notice he was on fire at first.
He's like, oh, it got way warmer all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden he checks down and he's like on fire.
Still only the third hottest player in that game behind Burrow and Chase.
Dude, Jamar Chase has been picking it up. Like,
I
remember how everyone was
quite
like,
good.
Everyone was like, man, he's gonna be a dud because he kept on dropping passes in the preseason, and all of a sudden now he's getting 200 yards a game.
Yeah, like, I'd say he's probably going to be really good for a really long time.
Yeah, probably. I think honestly, like his start, everyone thought that Justin Jefferson's start could have been really topped by any other like receiver, like last year's start, but he blew it out of the water. Like Jamar Chase his start has been way more crazy than in my opinion, than
Yeah,
Justin
you
Jefferson.
might have the brightest future in the league as far as weapons go.
Yeah. I mean, I would take him right now over Justin Jefferson, and that's in my opinion.
I'd probably take him over Devonta Smith and TJ Hawkinson personally.
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean, whoa.
Me and Gabe just made a Jamar Chase trade in a dynasty league yesterday. That's why I say
Wait,
that.
seriously?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you make that trade?
It wasn't just that. He got more than that, but
Oh, I was like, dude, why would you just straight up give? That's like,
well, we can
man,
put it on the
okay.
record here really quick, I guess. So I gave Carter Jamar Chase. He gave me TJ Hawkinson. He gave me Devonta Smith. He gave me Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He gave me the first overall pick in a rookie draft this year. And then we did a pick swap in 2024. So I got his third round pick, and
you also
got my fourth.
you also gave me Schultz.
I also gave you Dalton Schultz. Yeah. So take that how you want it. I think I got a pretty good haul for Jamar Chase.
And I got Jamar Chase, which is sick because I also have Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so you're telling me you gave away Jamar Chase for mid players?
Whoa.
wouldn't say they're
No
mid.
Hawkinson slander.
Dude, Hawkinson. Okay, I had Hawkinson on my team last year, and he was pretty great. But like this year, I don't know if it's just because Jared Goff doesn't really like him as much.
He was
but
playing well, but he just started battling through injuries.
Yeah, and that's what happened to George Kittle, and we see how that's turned out.
Yep, he's the best tight end in the world.
I don't know him anymore. He's been
injured. Not fantasy wise. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but not. He's been injured for forever. Seems like. I don't even know when he's injury prone. I mean,
a lot of it isn't his fault. I mean, he got plagued by injuries last year because in the first game, Garoppolo missed through a screen pass and led him into an injury, and then he never really fully recovered from that one last year. He's also playing with a torn labrum and has been his whole career. That's why he wears that shoulder wrap thing.
Yeah, but maybe he should get it fixed, and he will be
great.
Then
he'd have to miss a whole offseason of stuff.
Is that better than playing through a torn labrum?
It seems like it. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell George Kittle what to do.
Dude, I don't even. But anyways, there's also awful railing. You probably heard this. Awful railing leads to fans almost falling on Jalen Hurts as he's entering the tunnel. Man,
I think that was Washington's strategy.
Yeah, to hurt Jalen Hurts, dude.
At this point, who knows?
Dude, and then they didn't even offer medical support for those people. Like,
and did you see the cameraman, the NFL cameraman who kicked somebody?
They did not care.
Yeah, I saw that.
They did not care.
It wasn't
for no reason.
Yeah, no reason to kick the person. He just did.
What is their issue? Like, I don't know if this is a Washington thing or an NFL thing, but it seems like both. Like, I don't know why the NFL is protecting Washington so much. Like, what? They're not a good team, so why are they protecting them so much? Like the whole scandal thing with the email, that they're hiding that, and they're literally concealing that super tight. And then they don't even announce anything for it. They kind of sweep it under the rug. Like, what? I don't even. And that also leads to Washington football team announcing their new name, which they're probably going to get horribly screwed up. Like, I heard right now that they already accidentally leaked it, and I forgot what it was. They announced it, the Red Tails. I heard it was they accidentally leaked it, and it was the Red Tails.
I know most of the fans wanted Red Wolves, and they already ruled that out for who knows why. But that's what the fans wanted.
Like, dude, this is gonna be embarrassing. Like they do everything that they did this year.
Well, and a lot of fans want the old name back.
Yeah, they shouldn't have changed it. They changed it for FedEx Field, which is eventually falling apart right now. That's what I thought. Like, man, they changed their name for the stadium, and now their stadium is falling apart.
Literally.
Yeah, like, man, that's so dumb. Like, I could go on for days about the Washington football team and how embarrassing of a franchise they are. But man, and also Joe Burrow got his name ripped off of this. That was pretty funny.
That was so weird to see. I
I
hated
know.
it. It looked
It was
so weird
weird.
without a name.
And I was like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, did I just not notice this? Did he have his name tag missing the whole game? And I was like, what? But it showed that he got it ripped off. That was kind of funny. But also, so these topics I talked about, they're also on our website as well in article form if you want to go more in depth or just read about it a little bit. So check those out. And we also should be having some more articles out soon. But yes, that was a little side tangent. And also Joe Burrow didn't care. He didn't care that he didn't have a name on his jersey. He still threw for 350 plus yards and 4 touchdowns and 0 picks in the last 2 games, including the Ravens, as you may know.
We get it. Joe Burrow's good. Jamar Chase is good. We're gonna be good for like 10 years. We get it.
Yeah.
This is pain. This is pain here. No, but in all honesty, Joe Burrow's been phenomenal. He's probably gonna be a future MVP.
He's probably the best quarterback in the AFC North. I don't see anyone else competing for that.
Maybe not that. I mean, we haven't seen Lamar play for a little bit, but
Dude,
I won't say that
Lamar
just
looks
yet.
bad.
I won't say
Lamar
that
looks
just yet.
Lamar looks
would,
bad. His injury.
I would give Burrow the edge. Like as of right now, I'd say that it's definitely fair to call him better, but I also wouldn't say that nobody's like arguing for it or fighting
I was joking
for it.
about that. Yeah.
Well, you are a certified Lamar hater, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth in what I said, but as well,
It's
Lamar
gonna
looks
be a
bad
tough
with his injury.
offseason. Well,
He's
and
gonna learn how to stop running. He's got to stop it.
I
and-
mean, the play he got hurt on, the Cleveland player obviously tried twisting his ankle.
Yeah, but that's how you kind of know how to tackle, like the gator tackle. That's what everyone's taught. Like, it's not like he did it with malice. Like, I mean, everyone tackles that like that.
Lamar should be good to go next year. Hopefully he's still a Raven next year. I mean, I don't see a scenario where the Ravens don't re-sign him.
But man, his
He's-
injury,
Wait, does he already need to be extended?
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, he's hobbling
I thought that was next year.
everywhere. Well, he's the same year as Baker. Baker has to get, that's the whole argument. As Baker is he going to get re-signed or whatever?
Well, they'll pick up Lamar's option, obviously, but they definitely
The
know
Browns are screwed.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Like either they pay Baker way too much and they're screwed, or they lose Baker and have no quarterback.
I say franchise tag him. I say give him another year.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, the roster's built to contend now. If you risk losing Baker Mayfield, who hasn't been awesome, but you pick up you just don't have a quarterback, then that's going to be an issue.
Maybe you pick up the tag and then draft a quarterback and then see. Maybe that's the move. Kind of like what the 49ers did with Trey Lance and Jimmy. They kind of kept him for a year and then they're going to get rid of him next year, probably. The Trey Lance, I don't know. I'm getting some parallels for some dude in Kansas City. I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
same
I've always
story.
said he reminds me a lot of young Josh Allen right now, where like the footwork needs a little bit of work, the windup's a little long, the accuracy can be spotty at times, but he's got a really strong arm. He's got a lot of mobility. He's a big guy. He has all the physical tools.
And I mean, that's kind of the same thing by the end of the year, week 17, after his first year. What's this? Patrick Mahomes started. Sounds the same with Trey Lance. I don't know, but I am a 49er hater as well. But I mean,
What?
he does look good.
Is it just because
know
we
why.
eviscerated
You know
you twice
why.
in the same year?
You know why.
That
You
is
know why I do not like the
Understandable.
49ers.
That's a shame
Also
because I am a Packers bandwagon a little bit.
Yes, and I'm also
Not really, but
I'm not
just-
reciprocating the love.
I love Aaron Rodgers.
Man, yeah, I don't know why. You probably love Aaron Rodgers because he always likes to choke against the 49ers. That's probably
That's
why.
actually not. I love him because I think he's the best quarterback of all time.
I agree, but yes.
Best talent wise, of course.
Wait, what?
Anyways, I
What?
think that
The all time?
Best is
Yeah.
in most talented. Yeah,
was
Oh,
talented.
okay.
like it'd be like the Rodgers is the best. Brady's
Well,
the
he's not-
greatest.
And Brady's the most achieved quarterback.
by
Like,
far. Yeah.
he's the most achieved. I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback overall.
I think
my
purely talent, like if I just need one game in a nutshell, I'm taking Rodgers over
Yep.
anybody.
But I mean, also Tom Brady does bring the ref factor in there. He does
Oh
get a ton
yeah.
of calls to
Oh
him.
yeah,
So,
and
I mean,
Rodgers doesn't.
yeah, but he doesn't get him as nearly as much as Tom Brady does.
It's some pretty bad ones. The game sealing play against the Browns was bad. There was a lot of bad
Okay,
calls on
that was a
game.
tipped pass. I said
A
that.
lot of bad calls.
It was
on that game.
tipped.
No
It was
way they knew
tipped.
that, bro. No way they knew that.
It was
Nobody knew that
tipped.
until they slowed it down and zoomed it in. And
Yeah, but anyways, they wouldn't have. It would have been a bad call because it was tipped. So therefore, end of discussion.
okay, mark that off the list of the long list of bad calls they got that game.
Yep. Yeah, do that. Anyways, Big Ben's. Why this? What? Why
What?
the Saints?
Oh,
We want the Rams to win and we want the Saints to win.
if the Niners lose and the Saints win, the Saints are in the playoffs, and the
Oh
Niners are not.
yeah. Let's go Saints.
Are we
Yeah.
just piling it on me? I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, you
You
get
picked the wrong national champion.
Yeah, that's it. That's why we're dogging you this whole. And because you missed last episode, I was gonna make
It's
a
not
joke
my
about there's no
fault.
other.
That's not my fault. The Wi-Fi where I was like non-existent. It was terrible.
Sure.
It was terrible.
Sure.
It was terrible.
Sure.
I was also sharing a room with my brother, and yeah, but the Wi-Fi thing was the biggest issue.
Anyways, Big Ben, his final home game, he looked horrible in that game anyways. Like, I'm not gonna deny that. He looked bad. The best thing in that game was his team around him carried him to a victory. Baker also carried him to a victory, throwing a man. Baker's bad. And in this game, he was also bad. TJ Watt had 4 sacks for the first, and that's the first time for a player to do that in 20 years. And he's also 1 sack away from the record for a season. Like, man.
While only playing 12 full games. Like,
yeah. He's been injured too this year, and he's still done that. Like, what? That's insane. That's
You can't really
ridiculous.
use the 17-game season as an excuse when he hasn't even played the whole season.
right.
Yeah. And that's ridiculous. I mean, the 18th game will make him get it, but like that's crazy, honestly.
I mean,
Just-
you'd think he'd get it, but
Let's hope that Tyler Huntley just, takes an
It's-
intentional grounding or something instead of giving TJ Watt a sack.
just Lamar out for sure.
I mean, the Ravens can still
He's
make
been
the
limping
playoffs,
bad.
but I don't think they want to risk. Like, it's basically impossible for the Ravens to make the playoffs. I think it's safer just to roll Huntley out there and keep Lamar healthy.
Mhm. Yeah, and as well, there's an MVP voter that said he refuses to vote Aaron Rodgers because of his personal opinion on outside of football. You call them a bad guy and the biggest jerk of the league. And Carter and I were talking about this off air, and we were like, why does this dude have a vote?
I mean, after this, he definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, like
Regardless of what you think of Rodgers off the field, that should not matter literally at all
that's what it's about. It's most
For-
valuable player
for this award. Like, if he earns it on the field, that's all that should matter. But
It's not most valuable personality.
Well,
And
that's
I
what kept Terrell Owens out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like
It's true.
he ended up getting into it eventually, but he didn't even want to go in because he's like they screwed him over for that.
I don't blame him.
But
And you think, I mean, this guy came out and said it, but how many more are thinking this and just won't say it?
yeah, I mean I think people are saying they're like Aaron Rodgers deserves it at this point, but I think Jonathan Taylor might win it just because of Aaron Rodgers' political stuff that he did this year.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, man. And let's just quickly run through our NFL award races here. Carter, do you want to start?
All right. For the MVP, my top 3 right now is going to be Rodgers at 1, Cup at 2, and Jonathan Taylor at 3. I think that to be the MVP, you have to do something historical, do something that we've never seen or something insane. And Cooper Kupp is doing exactly that, so that's why I have him so high.
For me, I have Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, and Tom Brady. I put Tom Brady in there because, I mean, he's still playing pretty great with no receivers or anything out or playing for him. So I just put him in at the last spot. I don't think he's going to win it, though.
Okay, and then for mine, it's pretty standard. I have Rodgers at 1, Jonathan Taylor at 2, and Cooper Kupp at 3. All three of them are having phenomenal years.
Mm-hmm. And then on to defensive player of the year.
This is kind of a one-man race, it feels like, but
Yep.
I got TJ Watt at 1. It would be absolutely ridiculous if he doesn't win it. And then I have Aaron Donald at 2 because I still think he's firmly in the conversation for best player in the world. And then I have Nick Bosa at 3 because he's just been wreaking havoc every week and on a reconstructed ACL at that.
Yeah, and then for me, I have TJ Watt. He's unanimous, my opinion. Aaron Donald is number 2. He's always been pretty great. And I put Micah Parsons over here because I feel like he has a little bit better stats than Myles Garrett, in my opinion, as I see Gabe's changing Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald. But Myles Garrett, his stats look a little bit worse than Micah Parsons, in my opinion. And so I put him at that 3rd. But I think
These
TJ
awards
Watt's
are
running away with it.
The awards take stats into heavy consideration. So,
Yep.
Well, okay. So Myles Garrett. Well, okay. I should start with number 1. TJ Watt's obviously winning this award. I have Myles Garrett at 2 and Aaron Donald at 3. Now, what I'm surprised about is not seeing Myles Garrett higher on your guys' lists because he's top 3 in QB knockdowns. He's top 3 in sacks, and he's still leading the league in QB pressures.
He's actually not top 3 in sacks anymore, I don't think.
He's tied for 3rd with Nick Bosa at 15.
Is he?
Yeah. And he's also leading in quarterback pressures. I think he's top 10 in quarterback hurries. I mean, these stats are still pretty important. I know the past few weeks haven't been as awesome for Garrett, but I still think he deserves that recognition. And then Aaron Donald, I mean, it's tough to get good stats when you're getting double teamed or even sometimes triple teamed, but he still needs to get that recognition as well.
Just the thing of like what you said about Garrett, the awards are a very much like, what have you done for me lately type of thing. And Myles Garrett having his worst stretch of the season at this point in the year is just really bad for his hopes for getting votes for something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And then on to offensive rookie of the year.
I kind of agree with Adam's list here, but I decided to fill it out anyway. Jamar Chase at 1, Najee Harris at 2, and I put Mac Jones at 3, but only because this guy wasn't starting all year.
Yep. And yeah, as Carter mentioned, I think my list, I'm sad that we couldn't have 5 spots here, but I put Jamar Chase at 1, a dude named Jamar Chase at number 2, and then the Bengals rookie receiver at 3, Jamar Chase. And yeah, so Jamar Chase.
Mine was kind of similar. I did have Jamar Chase at number 1.
Whoa.
Yeah, what? I had Najee Harris at number 2, and as a Ravens fan, it does not make me happy that the top 2 guys are in that division.
Just like you had him in the last award too.
Yeah, well, and then I put Jalen Waddle at 3. He's probably going to hit 1,000 yards this year, and I didn't know he had 99 receptions.
Yeah,
that's kind of impressive.
Under
actually,
the radar.
He's been a catch monster.
Yeah, no, Waddle's been great this year, and I thought he'd probably have more injury issues, but for the most part, he's been able to stay on the field. So,
he also has one of the best signature celebrations.
He does.
Yep. Then he waddled away. Waddle.
All right. For defensive rookie of the year, I got obviously Micah Parsons at 1. At 2, I put Patrick Surtain, and at 3, I had Nick Bolton from the Chiefs.
Yep, and similar to my offensive rookie of the year award, I thought it would be very hard to fill in these 3 spots because it's wide open. So I put at number 1 Micah Parsons, at number 2 the linebacker from the Cowboys, Micah Parsons, and at number 3 I also put Micah Parsons. So there we go.
You got defensive end Micah Parsons, linebacker Micah
Linebacker Micah
and
Parsons, and then safety Micah Parsons.
safety Micah
He didn't even
Parsons.
play Micah safety this year, but he could. If he
So-
played safety, he'd be 3.
I'd like to appreciate Carter's Nick Bolton pick. He doesn't exactly have the stats for it, and he's missed a couple of games. But if you watch the games, Nick Bolton's making an impact on almost every play.
I think he's got some solid stuff. I think he's over 100 tackles already.
Wait, seriously?
I
Okay.
think
Well,
so.
I know he did miss some games.
Either way, he flashes more watching it than in the box score.
Totally. And I personally, I didn't put him on my top 3 for defensive rookie of the year. I have Micah Parsons 1. I have a future Pro Bowler, Odafe Owe, for the Ravens at 2. He's cooled off a little bit as of late as well. And then Patrick
that?
Surtain at 3. I like that list.
Odafe away.
You don't know him?
I have no
He's been
clue.
solid for the Ravens. He was really hot earlier in the season.
I don't even know what he plays.
He plays defensive end, and sometimes we play him at middle linebacker and drop him into coverage for some reason. But I mean, he ran a 4.37 in college, so that might be part of the reason why. But he's pretty versatile.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Comeback player of the year.
All right. At 1, I got Joe Burrow. 2, I got Dak Prescott, and 3, I have Nick Bosa. I mean, we all have the same top 3 here.
Mm-hmm. Do we? Oh yeah.
Not in order,
what?
but I think it's
Oh, yeah, we
pretty
do.
obvious. It's
Yeah.
these
I
3
was like, wait,
players.
what? Yeah. For me, I have Joe Burrow. I mean, I think Joe Burrow is going to win this. I genuinely still think Dak Prescott's probably going to win it because there's a majority of Cowboys fans out there and Cowboys haters, but I think he's probably going to win it. Joe Burrow's been playing lights out, but I put him at number 1. Nick Bosa at number 2. Then Dak Prescott, I think he's been playing pretty horribly over the last stretch, so I put him at 3, but I probably think he's going to win it.
Well, and then I have Burrow at 1, Prescott at 2, Nick Bosa at 3. I guess we should also throw in Carson Wentz in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean he's been decent, but like
I
not
mean,
compared to Joe Burrow.
Not with these guys.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but
Wait,
yeah, I don't
why
see
are you saying Dak's been horrible lately?
He's been bad.
he
His
played pretty
past
well
two-
against
His
Washington.
His past 2 games have been incredible.
He's been pretty bad. He's been the reason I feel like they've been losing. They lost
He
that
had
game.
an accurate 330-4 in the first half, basically against Washington, and then he had
Yeah, but that's
he
against
just had-
Washington.
He just had 226-3 against Arizona,
He was
and
bad.
he's playing
Stats
well.
don't tell everything there. He looked
I know,
bad.
and he was playing well.
No, he looked bad. He looked it was pretty awful. I think he was the reason they lost that game. He looked bad. He looked very bad in my opinion.
Professional
And he looked
Dak
pretty
hater.
bad. They call him Dak and Dunk for a reason. let's
What?
just put it that way.
No, that doesn't
Man.
make any sense.
I gave Dak credit when he was throwing for 400 yards a game, but right now I cannot. Like he looks bad, and in my opinion, he does not look good. I don't know.
disagree. I think he looks great.
Anyways,
Cowboys hater.
coach of the year. I
Coach
am
of
a
the
Cowboys
year.
hater, but
Um,
I'm decent with the Ravens, but I don't like Lamar. I'm picky with my quarterbacks, but
By picky, you mean
Anyways.
you like Aaron Rodgers, and that's it.
I like other quarterbacks as well. I liked Drew Lock. He
What?
that was a dud. I like Drew Lock. That was a
Dak
miss.
and Lamar suck, but Drew Lock, oh yeah.
Well, I know Drew Lock sucks now, but like before, I was high on him coming out of college. I also really like Justin Herbert. I love him. I liked Deshaun Watson before all the legal issues.
You're a Mahomes
Uh,
hater too.
I mean, I liked Mahomes. I have a jersey of him, but right now I cannot be a fan of Mahomes because he's been playing horrible. I like Josh Allen.
He's not even playing bad either.
He's playing bad. His mechanics are weird. He's not playing as he should have been. He's not
He's
nearly
playing really-
he's a shell of himself.
No.
Like maybe he set the bar too high this last couple of years, but this year has been a major step back in my opinion. Like
I don't think so.
it's been bad. So I may be a quarterback hater, but I'm also very picky with my quarterbacks. So,
You're a professional quarterback hater. All
Dude,
right.
I feel like I'm right with most of my quarterback picks. Drew Lock was a whiff.
I disagree with most of them.
Yeah, and you're wrong with most of your quarterback picks.
Yeah, all right.
The only
Okay.
one that you may be right about is Trey Lance, and I'll stick with you with that one.
Good. All right. It took a lot for me not to put him in at third at MVP just for fun, but
Trey Lance?
I kept it serious. I kept it serious. Okay. Coach of the year. I got Matt LaFleur at 1. I think he officially has the most wins by a coach ever in his first 3 seasons, which is pretty insane. And people forget that the Packers, like, it's not like he took over the Jets or anything, but the Packers didn't look like this before LaFleur got there. Like he has been a significant part of this, like, really renaissance for them. So I think he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. I got Mike Vrabel at 2. What he's managed to do with the Titans with all their injuries is incredible. I consider putting him at 1. I like Mike Vrabel a lot, and I think that if they really manage to hold on to the 1 seed, I think there's a really good chance that he gets it. And at 3, I have Zach Taylor. I still don't know how I fully feel about Zach Taylor, but with the resume of him, like, winning the AFC North, and no one really expected them to, and that's usually how people get this award, is when you come out of nowhere and do something like this. So I put him in the top 3.
Yeah, for me, this isn't bias. It could sound biased, but it's not. And I would be genuine if I would make a sarcastic joke, but like Matt LaFleur has had 13-3 for the last 3 seasons as a coach. He literally, this game. So if they lose this game, it would be 13-4. But if they would have ended the season right now, he'd be 13-3 for the last 3 consecutive seasons. And the Packers had 2 playoff misses with Aaron Rodgers beforehand, before he even got there. The Packers' run game was non-existent. And all of a sudden he came in, makes Aaron Rodgers look great again. And then he makes the run game show up, and he's been great. And I don't even know how he's gone 13-3 for the last 3 seasons and then hasn't won the award yet. Like,
the difference between LaFleur and McCarthy is very significant. It makes you wonder what the Cowboys could do with a good coach.
Exactly.
Plus, he has a fresh cut every single game.
That's true. He looks clean on the sidelines out there.
Crisp. Hide your wives.
But so does your next guy.
Coming in.
So does your next guy, though.
Yep. We come from crisp cut and looking great on game days to a dude that wears holes in his sweatshirt every game. We got Bill Belichick. I'm pretty sure there's some snot wipes on some of his sleeves too that he wears for these games. He doesn't look good, but I'm putting him at 2nd. Billy B, Bill Belichick, the man that looks horrible, looks like a witch every single game. But yeah, I put him at number 2 because he had 1 rebuild year, 1 down year, and then all of a sudden he's back. Like, he's back to, I mean, he's not like the greatest team in my opinion in the AFC, but like he's been pretty impressive in my opinion.
He's done a great job of working with what he has too. He's doing the right thing with just the ground and pound approach, and just making Mac make the throws that he knows he can make, and defense has been playing lights out.
And if this was a list of just best coaches, I mean, Belichick would top the list for all of us, I think. But Coach of the Year is very narrative driven, and they want to give it to different people each year. If it was just who was the best coach, it'd be Belichick, Reed, and Tomlin every year, honestly.
Yep. And also put in Matt LaFleur there. I feel like
Harbaugh's better than Tomlin, but
nah, Tomlin better. Jim Harbaugh?
No.
Come back.
Did you hear Jim Harbaugh might be is considering the Raiders job?
I don't buy it. I think there's no way. Every single year since really he got to the 49ers, there's been rumors of him going this place or going another place, and it's continued when he's been at Michigan. Why would he leave? Like, they love him there. He just finally beat Ohio State. They made the playoff. He's not going to get more money in the NFL, I don't think.
Maybe just a new challenge.
I don't know what. Well, he hasn't really completed this challenge yet, has he?
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I don't think there's any reason for him to leave. As much as I love him and would love to see him back in the NFL, I think that he's going to stay, and I think that he should stay.
Mm-hmm. But yes. And then at number 3, I got Mike Vrabel. He's been insane this year. Like, he's as tough as nails. He's probably the toughest coach. That's the biggest balls of any coach here. Like, he's been great.
All right. So I guess I have the unpopular opinion, kind of going back to what Carter says. This is coach of the year. So LaFleur has had, well, an historic 3-year stretch, but it is coach of the year. It is just for this year. And what I will say is that I think Zach Taylor deserves to win it, which is kind of weird to say. I know I've never been public
With the
about
Cincinnati
it.
hat on.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I'm wearing it.
You're wearing it because of that's the reason you bought the hat.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a
Zach
Cincinnati Reds hat because of the Cincinnati Bengals coach, Zach Taylor.
It's up to me.
I've been very critical of Zach Taylor over the years. He still had some Kyrie's nodding his head in agreement. He still had some issues this year, but from where he's taken the Bengals from last year to this year is insane. And that Jamar Chase pick is looking a lot better now than it did at draft day. I thought for sure they should have gone with Sewell. I know a lot of other people thought that as well. Sewell's going to be great, but Jamar Chase just completely changes this team. The defense has been playing a lot better. The Bengals have been playing a lot more consistent as of late as well. So that's why I would pick him as my number 1 vote for coach of the year. At 2, I have Mike Vrabel. The fact that he's getting this running game done with Dontrell Hilliard and Deonta Foreman just speaks so much about how great of a coach he is. Like that's such a downgrade from Henry to those
Not
guys.
to mention not having his receiving weapons for half of the games too.
Right.
He was getting it done with Westbrook, Akeem, and Chester Rogers.
Yeah, and Tannehill's taken a step back a little bit too. The defense has stepped up as well, especially in this past game, 34-3 against the Dolphins. And at 3, we have Matt LaFleur. I feel like it would be a crime not to put him in the top 3 at least. He's been a phenomenal coach over the past 3 years. He is probably a top 3 head coach for just that stretch. And I also wanted to give an honorable mention to John Harbaugh. I think if he would have made the playoffs with that team, he should have been up there with Mike Vrabel. But the fact that he's not even going to make the playoffs, there's been a ton of key guys out, but I don't think that's enough to warrant a top 3 vote for me.
I mean, the situation with Harbaugh this year is exactly what, I mean, I don't know if you remember, we talked about it all the time last year, how I was saying, if the 49ers make the playoffs, Shanahan deserves coach of the year last year, just through all the injuries and stuff. And I think that's a good argument for Harbaugh. If by some miracle, if the Jags beat the Colts, the Ravens win, and all that stuff happens, give it to him. Why not?
Oh yeah, we were talking about this off air while we were waiting for you. So we were like,
Wrong time zone, sorry.
Yeah, we were waiting here for an hour, and we're like, oh, did Carter fall asleep or something? Or
I never woke up because I set my alarm for 10:15 Pacific.
Man. But yes, we are talking about how if the Colts lose, then the Chargers and the Raiders can tie and both make the playoffs. And we were like, yeah, and we were like, would you take that tie? Would you would you make an agreement with the other team? Be like, all right, if they lose, then we can tie.
They get in so much trouble.
No, but not if they fake it. Just be like,
who's gonna stop him?
Yeah,
it's true.
The NFL is gonna call the game. Hold up, man, that'd be so funny. Just seeing that.
See if the NFL can outrig the teams rigging it. That'd be interesting.
That'd be
a fun
so
game
funny.
of chess.
The refs call a flag and make another team score. Just be like automatic touchdown.
Yeah. They're at midfield, holding in the end zone. That's a safety. Game over.
By the end, they're like, "Oh, there's a flag on the play. That means that the kick is good instead of it being horribly missed."
Right.
We're like, they're gonna be lining it up this way with the goals, it's gonna be like they're gonna purposely miss these kicks and everything. It's gonna be 0-0 the whole game.
I can't believe they can both make it. That's actually really surprising.
Yeah, like they could both make it if they tie.
Is there any
If
way
one of
for
them
them
wins,
is there any way for them to both make it if one of them loses?
nope.
Oh,
The only way for both of them to make it is if they tie.
this
And I
will be
was-
this will be an interesting game to keep an eye on.
And it's like, so if one of them wins, I think if the Raiders win, then they have to have the Colts lose still, I think. I think that's how it is.
Well, I mean, they just
something.
beat the Colts, so I doubt it.
Yeah, or like they have to have something else. And if the Chargers win, then they're in. Anyways, we just had a major crash on my end. And I was recording the episode. So hopefully this episode it wasn't ruined. But yes, here's the outro time by forced outcome. This episode probably ran long anyway, so I mean it's
Yeah.
probably not the worst. Unless the whole episode's ruined, then it is for the worst. But that is all the time we have for the day's episode. On behalf of Carter, Gabe, and I, we'd like to say thank you for listening to the Sports and Stuff show. Make sure to listen to all the episodes that we have, and next week when we go back on the Pulse. And also make sure to follow us on Instagram at sportsandstuff.show, on Twitter at SNS_show, and on TikTok, sportsandstuff.show. Make sure we're also check out our Instagram and TikTok because we are having a giveaway for 5,000. And also make sure to listen to all the future episodes on Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. or on a podcasting platform after the show has gone live. Thank you again, and we will see you next one.
Peace.